Abundance Homebrew.
Coming at you guys, and today we got a special one. No, not really. Okay, we just got a normal one, but I got it for free. You know,
Free's good.
you know, there's some perks in my job that I like, and being friends with beer salesmen is a good thing. So I got my sample bottle, and it is Bristlecone by Uinta Brewing in Salt Lake City, Utah.
And one thing I want to notice there's a new packaging this year for those that have had this. They're actually showing the famed tree. Tell us about the tree, Christian.
Yeah, this should be Methuselah, because the one before Prometheus, I think it was,
Prometheus
had been cut down in 1964. But the bristlecone pine is the oldest living plant or object inhabitant in North America. It's 4,765 years old.
Yeah.
That's crazy, guys.
So the location is hidden so that no idiots can just go off and cut the dang thing down.
An English brown ale style, and it's 4%. Last year, we couldn't even, there's no
Documentation
percentage
is
on
what the ABV is on the bottle or on their website.
Yeah, so we don't know. Obviously, I got the sample, so I didn't have the 6-pack with me.
It is 25 IBUs. We're going to assume it's the same 4% ABV.
Yeah.
One thing that's kind of unique, I'm not a huge brown ale fan. Christian loves brown ales. And but one thing that's kind of different is, I mean, this is an English style. This is a totally sessionable 4% ABV beer. Something I talk about because the UK guys get all these like even 3-something% beers and all these 4-something%
That have a lot of flavor.
Yeah, they still have good quality.
And
we're
that's
lucky to start at 5.5, you know?
I'd like to be able to create something like that, just because of the fact that I like to have a beer all the time. So, I mean, if I could just have a 3 or 4% beer that tasted great, you know, then I wouldn't have to get hammered every night.
There you go.
No, I'm joking. So, yeah. Let's bust this baby open,
We'll get this one cracked open and take a look.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, this is a pretty decent...
Wow. I like the look. I mean, this is a clear beer. It's very dark, though.
Yeah.
It has brown and like ruby red hues both through this. You put it to light.
Exactly. You nailed it, Dad. But yes, this is a very clear beer, very crisp looking. It's got a slightly tan to white head, which I'm surprised with such a dark color.
And you'll notice on mine it faded very quickly. You know, it does look like it's going to leave a little bit of lacing, but not really much.
Not much, but...
It did build back up, though, with a swirl very quickly. So, nice enough looking.
Well, let's get a nose on this.
Let's do that.
Oh, it definitely has a deep, dark brown ale smell to it. It's very strong, I'd say.
Yeah, I get a little bit of chocolate off of it, actually.
Nuttiness.
Yeah,
lots of
it's
nuttiness.
very nutty. That's really probably the stronger note. It's quite nutty. It's got that light chocolate brown kind of aroma, but with a lot of nutty aroma to it. Almost a hint of breadiness, which is quite amazing, I think, at 4% ABV.
And I heard this before. People said walnuts. It really does smell like a walnut.
Well, I'm also picking up some hazelnut myself. Kind of the meat of a hazelnut as well. I know what you're saying on the walnut, but regardless, man, it's just a lot of nut. I almost feel like it's multiple different types of nut in there.
Yeah, you get multiple nuts. So, that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah. So, it's a winner so far with me.
All right, let's do this.
All right, cheers.
Let's taste.
Okay, you know, it's kind of what I might expect, but done very well. I mean, this is 4%. I mean, you can't put that much flavor into 4% beer, but you know what? It's light. It's I'd say it's on the full side of a light body, so it's leaning towards medium, not quite.
Yeah, I'd say it has great brown taste to it. It has those nutty notes. It's not very malty, obviously, so it has more of a dry taste.
Yeah, also in terms of the flavor, That chocolate I mentioned I got on the nose was a light chocolate. There's only just a wisp of that there, but instead you get some roasted malt, and it's kind of like a burnt. It's like a roasty, dark roast on it. Of course, it's a light beer, but it's leaving that on the back side along with a little bit of bitterness on it.
Yeah, I really like this. It's a nice beer. It's very sessionable for fall, I'd say.
Yeah, you know, I'm getting like some like toasted bread, but not like a just cheesy, cheap bread. It feels like a, I want to say like, there's like some, like almost, not sourdough quite, but like a good bread. Something like that off of it as well.
Yeah, more like I'd maybe almost go in that range of like it'd have a flavoring of a French bread.
Yeah.
But it's not French, but it's got its own nutty like characters to it.
Yeah, but I got that kind of a French bread-esque type of a taste as well.
That kind of feel to it.
Yeah. I'm impressed that there's so many different flavors coming off this. There's just the slightest hint of like a toffee, I think, on it. It's just a very, very light toffee.
I almost got like a slight cocoa nib out of all the chocolates, but very slight, not very potent at all. Kind of gives it that little taste to it.
Keep in mind the flavors that we're pulling out. This is a very light beer, so we're pulling off these undertones on this very light beer.
Yeah.
The most predominant flavor, I think, of it is really the burnt roast along with the nutty flavors.
Yeah, which I like that. I enjoyed that about a beer.
All right, well, here we go.
So we'll go off the basic rating of a brown, and this is an English brown. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was getting towards that edge of where it needed to be. It's definitely not world class. It's good, but it's not great. I'm actually gonna give it a 79, getting towards that 80 range, because obviously this is very sessionable, and it's hard to make a beer like this, but it's something I would go back and buy myself. It's a good drink to have every once in a while. It's not going to be my daily drinker, but it's one to enjoy and share with friends, I'd say.
We're going to disagree, you know? We do that at times. Because I think of brown ales, and I think of this whole lighter complexity and so forth. So for me, I've got to rate this much higher, right? I'm not going to rate it super high, but as a brown ale, an English brown ale specifically, I'm giving this one an 84. I think it's right just in that B, not quite lower B, but right at that B range of a score, which is a good tasting ale. I think it's got a lot of qualities. I also really like the fact that, again, it's made in the U.S. and it's so light.
Oh, yeah.
But what do you think overall?
Overall, I'm going to drop it a little bit, but I'm just going to send it to a 78. I like the English taste to it. It's not American brown. It goes more towards that nuttiness that I like, something unique. And so I'm just going to give it a 78. I really enjoyed it.
I think you nailed it overall. I really do. For me, it's just though it's not my style. You know, it's a sessionable beer, which is something I'm always looking for, a really good sessionable beer, something that I'm really going to like. And I tend to be an imperial style kind of guy, you know, I love those imperials, but brown is just not my thing. Yet it's not a C, it would be like that C plus range. I'm going to stick right with you, right at that 78. I think you nailed that. I think you nailed that right on. Folks, this is a nice beer. If you want a sessionable brown ale, this is definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, and remember guys, Uinta does renewable power, and a lot of their beers are actually organic too. So they're a very green, conscientious company, which I like that about them.
What can we say? Life is too short
to drink cheap beer.
And we'll see you
on the next beer review.